For most of human history, the person you married might have shared your mother's milk, your father's face, and the same bed you'd slept in since before you could walk. Nobody flinched. Nobody whispered about it. There was no one else. Bands were small, sometimes under 30 people. Strip out the parents, the grandparents, the babies too young to walk, and there might be exactly one person left in the entire world who was the right age to marry you. So brother married sister, not because anyone wanted it that way, because a hunting band rarely had two unrelated adults the same age standing in it at the same time, so the boy who'd shared a womb with a girl became, a few years later, the man who shared a bed with her instead. There was no taboo yet to break. The taboo hadn't been invented. For a while, it simply worked. Then it started showing up in the children. Here's the ugly, simple truth of it. Keep making babies with your own bloodline, and the same broken traits stop getting watered down and start getting doubled up instead. So the babies came out wrong. Twisted hands, legs that never held weight, faces that didn't quite sit right. More of them buried before their first winter than made it through. Not a curse, just the same bad genes colliding with themselves over and over with nowhere new to go. The elders didn't have the word for any of it. What they had was a pattern, repeating itself in every family that kept pairing off inside its own fire, and they treated it the only way people treat something they can't explain and can't stop. They named it. They watched for it. And eventually, by accident more than wisdom, they found the only thing that actually worked. Guys, trade. Send your daughter to marry into the band 3 valleys over. Take one of their sons in return. It wasn't kindness, it was closer to a bribe. A truce sealed the old way. But the children, born from those trades, came out stronger. Fewer of them buried before their first winter was done. Bands that stumbled onto this by dumb luck simply outlived the ones that didn't, generation after generation. Until it wasn't luck anymore, it was custom. Then it was law. Then nobody remembered it had ever been a guess, because nobody understood why it worked. They wrapped it in ritual instead. Malformed infants were buried apart from the rest of the dead, facing away from camp, on the belief that whatever had gone wrong in the body might follow the corpse home if it faced the fire. Some bands marked a cursed family's doorway with ash, quietly warning outsiders which bloodline not to marry into. None of it was science. All of it was pointing blindly at the same true thing, which makes what happened next, in 3 completely separate corners of the world, almost impossible to believe. In Egypt, pharaohs married their own full sisters on purpose, generation after generation, because their blood wasn't considered ordinary blood, and ordinary blood wasn't allowed near it. Tutankhamun was very likely the son of 2 full siblings. Modern examination of his mummy found a clubfoot, a cleft palate, a body riddled with illness that needed a cane to stand by his late teens, in a court with every resource the ancient world had to offer. Across the ocean, the Inca emperor was required by law to marry his own full sister and make her his principal wife, because the bloodline of the sun god couldn't be diluted with outside blood. An ordinary Inca citizen caught doing the exact same thing his emperor was legally obligated to do could be executed for it. The same act was a capital crime in the valley and a sacred duty on the throne in the same empire at the same time. And in ancient Persia, some Zoroastrian religious texts described marriage between the closest possible relatives as one of the single most virtuous acts a devout person could perform, a way of keeping something pure that outside blood would only corrupt. 3 empires, no contact with each other, landed on the exact same forbidden idea and called it holiness instead of horror. Everyone else didn't need a law against it. Grow up next to someone, same fire, same food, same dirt floor, and your own brain quietly files them under family whether you're related or not. Nobody teaches you that. It just happens. And by the time you're old enough to want anyone, it's already too late to want them. 3 royal families had the money and the power to skip that step. So they did. and their kids paid the bill in club feet and bad jaws, while the peasants outside the palace walls grew up completely immune, for free. The reflex you carry now, the one that decided without your permission that certain people could never be anything more than family, is the leftover of exactly that. You didn't learn it. You got handed the version that survived. This is the unwritten record, and we exist because the parts of history that get left out of the textbook are usually the parts that explain everything else. If this rearranged something in your head, subscribe, and tell us in the comments which of the 3 empires shocked you the most. And if you know someone who thinks the incest taboo came from a book somewhere, send them this. It's older than every book, every empire, and every god that's ever tried to override it.